Welcome back to the podcast, Mom is in Control, where it's all about helping you find what allows you to feel more in control of how you live, work, play, and parent. I'm your host, Heather Chauvin. Today, I have a really interesting topic that I want to talk about, which is being an introvert or an extrovert or an introverted extrovert. Society loves labels. Human beings love labeling things, and they make a whole bunch of personality tests and all of that fun stuff. But the truth is, we know who we are, or at least we have some general sense of who we are. And I had a big aha moment yesterday, and I'll be getting into that in a second. But I want you to think, during this conversation, I want you to think about who you were as a child, how you felt as a child in your classroom, how you felt one-on-one with people, how you felt like in a group setting, at birthday parties, in the pool, being in public with your parents, and how your children, if you have children, react in these situations as well. How are they? How are they in specific situations? Do they like playing alone? Do they like playing in group? Are they angry when they get home from school? Are they angry and anxious on their way to school? Observing that every behavior is a language. 3, 4, 5 years maybe is do a live round of the Teach Your Kid to Meditate program. So right now it is launched as a 4-week program. You can do it right now. You could start right now. You go to teachyourkidtomeditate.com/program. But guess what? It's summertime and people use the excuse that they don't have time because their children are around. To be honest, I think this is the greatest time to implement because this is when we have space for our children, with our children. Even if you're working full-time, we can still make this happen. So I'm going to be launching this in, like I said, July. But if you register before June 15th of 2018, you are going to gain a lot of good shit. You're actually going to gain a significant discount because what's happening is we're upgrading the program, so the price is increasing. And I'm also changing the platform that I use the program on. So right now it is $297 Canadian. It will be shifting to $497 US. So that's almost a difference of around $270. When I'm doing it, the live round, it's going to be similar format to how the program is set up now, but I'm only going to improve it. It's going to be way better. The concept of Teach Your Kids to Meditate is about conscious parenting. So you're learning about mindfulness as a parent. You're learning how to implement and take action on this and implement it with your child, whether they are 3 or 15 or 25. And you're also learning how to incorporate mindfulness into your own life. But in July, because it's a live round, I'm also including my aligned workshop and my energetic time management workshop. So I'm giving you some added bonuses. The content is going to be fresh. It's going to be new. I'm going to be most likely pre-recording the content and will tell you when that's available. But during the live round, where I'm going to be having live Q&A, kind of like office hours. I'll be doing these at different times, maybe 1 in the morning Eastern Standard Time, 1 in the evening Eastern Standard Time. That way, wherever you are in the world, you can join. You'll also be able to submit kind of like a pre-form where you can ask your questions and I can specifically answer them for you on the Q&A. And we also have a private Facebook group that will be more active. It's been pretty inactive because people are kind of going at their own pace. So I wanted to let you know that because June 15th, this whole, before I open it up to the rest of the world, because you guys are podcasters, you are listeners of me, I'm telling you right now how you can get on this, getting all of those extra bonuses. It will be launching in July, but you have to pre-book. So if you purchase before June 15th, so you have a few weeks to do so, Right now it's $297 Canadian. It's going to be $497 US when we relaunch it. So get that on. And the nice thing is you can, register now. And once you are in, so everybody who's pre-purchased the program in the past as well is included in this. So you're automatically grandfathered into this, and you'll be getting emails for that as well. But you can start right away. So you can start with the existing program that's there. And then July, I'll just be adding that new content and changing it up for you. So really, if you sign today, you can start ASAP. And then in July, it's like you get this added bonus of, like I said, the additional workshops with me, the new content, the live Q&A, and all of that. In order to qualify, you have to pre-register. You have to register at this price before June 15th. After that, I am not accepting any, I didn't do it. Guys, if changing your life is something that you are really interested in, changing the way you respond to your children, changing the way that your children cope is something that you're very motivated to do, Teach Your Kid to Meditate is a great place to start. So to qualify for the bonuses and the early bird pricing, head on over to teachyourkidtomeditate.com/program. teachyourkidtomeditate.com/program. If you have any personal questions before registration, send them to support@heatherchauvin.com. All right, let's get in. So let's talk about introverts. Let's talk about the spirited child. Let's talk about the quote unquote sensitive souls, right? She's just so sensitive. He's just so sensitive. And understand that anger can mean sensitivity as well. So the story I wanted to share today, last night I went to a local event that I was speaking at. It's called YQG Talks. So it was here in Windsor, Ontario. And Sierra Bray is the founder of this event. And the beauty of this, she's been doing it for a year. She's a young entrepreneur. And her whole philosophy was on, bringing Windsor together. Our city has a bad rap for people who do not live here. They're like, Windsor sucks. And she's like, no, it doesn't. There's so much potential here. There's so much awesomeness here. And what I really enjoy about kind of Sierra's mission, besides the fact that she's just a resilient go-getter, is changing attitude and changing the lingo. And because of this event, she's taken a lot of people who feel isolated in the community, like entrepreneurs like myself, where it's like, I'm sitting here behind my microphone at my kitchen table recording this podcast, and I go out into the world and I'm just like, I feel like I don't belong. And that's not true. People are there. We just need to find our people. So YQG Talks. So I was talking at this event, there was me and 8 other speakers, actually 9 speakers. And, everyone's talking and telling their story about their mess to success story and how they started their businesses and didn't give up, and their ideas and, what they see as the strengths of this area and all of that beauty. And I knew this was going to happen. So I woke up this morning and I was what Brene Brown calls as a vulnerability hangover. So I don't drink. And because I don't drink, I don't really experience hangovers. But to be honest, I can have energy hangovers, if that's a thing. So I kind of had a vulnerability hangover because I did a talk, and I have this all the time, every time I talk. Not so much podcasting, but it's like the more you put yourself out there in a vulnerable way, you can feel it, right? And your body is just really sensitive to it. It's like, oh my God, what did I do? And you're just judging yourself. So I had that, and I was okay with that. But then there's this energy hangover. And the way I see an energy hangover is the equivalent to an energy leak that I talk about a lot. So imagine you have a big glass of water and there's a big crack in the glass. It's just pouring out of the bottom, right? And you're looking at the cup. You actually don't know that the hole is there. And you're like, where is it all going? That's what happens to my energy when I'm in crowds, when I'm with people, even when I'm at a retreat. I'm hosting a retreat this weekend, and It's overstimulating in a good way sometimes, because when you're around like-minded people, you're getting so excited, you have all these ideas, and it's like you're expanding your energy, but it can also be draining. And us introverts, and I'm assuming extroverts too, need time to repair. So what I noticed was I wrote something on Facebook this morning, and I got a shit ton of comments, so I'm going to read it to you. Where are my extroverts who appear introverted? We are the ones who appear social and not shy, but secretly just want to go home, lie in bed, and read or journal. Last night, I was at this YQG Talks, the event I just told you about, a really cool local event hosted by Sierra Bray, and jumped on stage with some amazing people to ramble about my story. People and energies are overstimulating for me, but most would never guess that. I see people in the crowd I would love to hug or talk to, but I can't go to everyone. And to be honest, interacting with humans can be overstimulating. My heart wants to spend hours talking to people about how they are doing, their passion, what they're passionate about, and helping them create a plan to make their dream life become a reality. This morning, I had what Brené Brown calls as a vulnerability hangover, mixed with so much excitement from being around my people. People who decided normal wasn't working for them, so they had to create life on their own terms. People who had a dream to make a difference and never give up. To become the person I am today and stay committed to my vision and my family, I've had to let go of a lot. And a lot of these things were never serving me. Alcohol. It's never agreed with my body or mind, and I haven't had a drink since 2017, and I feel amazing. Mind you, in previous years, I've only drank about 10 times a year. Letting this go has been a huge game changer, very surprising, to be honest. I've also had to give up most junk food, except for chips, because chips are my favorite, and that's harder for me to give up than alcohol. And shitty food. Shitty food doesn't serve me. If it's not real or in a box, my body isn't a fan, and so it just doesn't agree with me, and it literally zaps my energy. A corporate job. My body, my health can't handle working 40 hours a week on somebody else's terms. So now I work about 20 hours a week, making more than I ever could have in a previous career in working for mental health. Also, guys, another thing I had to let go of was I had to limit my child activities. Being busy driving the kids around to 20 different activities is a soul sucker for me. They each have their own activities that they love, and that's it. And yes, I know I'm a horrible parent because I won't let them do whatever they want, and I won't put them in travel sports because I will literally die. I'm a homebody. My favorite thing to do is just be with my kids, sometimes with earplugs on, and I talk about that a lot on the podcast. I love my work helping women understand themselves and their children on a deeper level. It has been a privilege and an honor to work with families around the world. And now I'm entering a new phase in my career and life where a lot of the fear I had while creating my business and being different is no longer there. I'm comfortable being me and 90% okay when somebody doesn't like my F-bombs, my nose ring, or my ripped jeans. I am who I am, and I'm not willing to change this to conform to society's beliefs that are making women miserable, sick, and broken in the first place. This is not always easy. Some days, like today, I feel like I'm swimming upstream. I have to focus on my values, my mission, my vision, and remind myself why I'm here in the first place. To become the person I desire my children to be. Happy, healthy, passionate, independent, full, and content. I would take today's discomfort over my old life any day. This is temporary. And then I asked the question, what are you hiding from the world? So when I was thinking about last night and when I wrote that today, one of my thoughts were, this is where children are misunderstood in the world. As an adult, we have more control than we believe, right? It's autonomy. If you're an entrepreneur, and I understand that's a whole nother conversation about time freedom and things like that, but you essentially do have control over your time. We people have brainwashed us to believe that, when you're working a 9 to 5 or whatever, that you don't have quote unquote control over your time. You still do. It's just a lot of people don't use their voice to state what they need in the world. And, if you talk to your boss about what would work best for you and how you can actually work less and be more productive, they may be open to the possibility, because what's in it for them, right? If you're like, hey, I can make you more money working less and doing this, can we do it a trial period for a month or 3 months? I've had many clients who, we've drafted ways to say this to their companies, and they've actually got it accepted and were able to pick their children up from school and things like that. So as adults, we have more autonomy of what we can do. We have choice. Yes, a lot of you have stories and limiting beliefs, believing that you can't do that, but that's like I said, another conversation. But this is where I think about our kids and how we are conditioned to send them to school every day or preschool or keep them very busy and very active. When the truth is that a lot of children need that time to decompress. And more than not, it's not about sending the kids outside to say, go play, be bored, because I think boredom is a fabulous thing. When our children are bugging us, and I have fallen of this too, but I'm being more mindful of it, and my kids aren't going to like my summer screen time rules, and that's okay because I don't need to be their best friend. What I'm trying to say is, a lot of times parents will default to, I just can't handle this right now, go on your screen, right? Or can I play this game? Can I play that game? And realizing that kids more and more and more are spending more time sitting in front of these screens, iPad, iPod, video games, whatever, TV even, and away from connection to themselves, connection to others, connection to nature, and they actually don't know how to play. And I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast before, but I definitely will in the coming weeks, was what I'm observing even from children coming over to our house to have play dates and how they actually can't play and they don't know how to play, and they would prefer to be inside, and they keep asking about video games or TV or something like that because kids are forgetting these fundamental skills. And to be honest, it's quite scary. And I know it's socially acceptable, and iPods and iPads and computers are being taught more in school with all of that fun stuff. But we do, as human beings, need to get back to nature. It's kind of becoming ridiculous how people are marketing products now, just to get people away from their screen time, right? Like the things we have to do. I'm going on a retreat this weekend. I'm hosting a retreat for my mastery students, and listening, I said, no cell phones, right? You're going to give me your cell phone. You're going to be away from your family from Thursday to Monday. And I will be too. That is fucking terrifying for a lot of people because they've never left their family before, or they feel that their partners are incapable, or whoever's looking after their children, and that they're bad moms. They feel guilty, all of this stuff. But realizing a lot of this isn't truth. It's a social construct of the mind that we are bad parents if we don't do X, Y, Z. So without my rant of me drilling into you the importance of nature and unplugging and, plugging back into you, plugging back into your soul. The point of my whole conversation, and hopefully you understand what I'm saying, is that we are raising introverted children regardless. I'm not saying we're raising introverts by the way that we're parenting them. I'm saying that introverted children do exist. I was a child at one time, and I didn't understand that I was introverted. I didn't understand that I was a sensitive being, right? I think a lot of people, when you're an intuitive person, you can call me an intuitive, you can call me an empath, you can call me a light worker, you can call me whatever you want. The point is, I came into this world with a sensitive soul and a big purpose to create change. I can literally stand next to somebody and feel their energy. And if they don't have positive energy, I feel like sometimes people are just sucking the life out of me. So I have to be very mindful and boundaried. And it's not to be rude. It's literally to save my life. because I can't, if I'm not boundaried, what's happening is I'm projecting my anger and fatigue and burnout on my children. And that's not the way that I want to be remembered. So we're raising these introverted, spiritual, old soul, sensitive beings who have a big purpose in this world. And they're being labeled, and I'm okay with labels, right? We need to have pretty labels. It's like, I'm a boy, I'm not a boy. I'm a girl, you're a boy. That's a label, right? That's a tree. This is a podcast. Like, we need these things to navigate the world. So children are labeled with autism. Children are labeled with ADHD. Children are labeled with, now I'm blanking, but you understand, you get it, with learning disabilities, behavioral, anger issues, whatever. And I come back to it. Every behavior is a language. So today I'm hoping that maybe this is the first time you've heard about this concept and you're like, oh my gosh, I think my child is introverted. I think my child is a sensitive soul. I think my child has a really hard time learning how to manage his or her energy out in the world. So when I look at my 3 boys, 13, 8, and 5, right? Boys, the social construct, the social story of boys and men is suck it up, don't feel your emotion, you're strong, and you're rugged, handle it. Well, when we are giving birth to these boys who are sensitive, vulnerable beings, I have 3 boys who react very different to energy. One is like me and will want to just sleep it off. One acts out in anger. And then I have another child, my youngest, who if I say, don't do that, in the same tone of voice that I just said to you, don't do that, he starts crying. So I can't even yell at him. If I raise my voice at all, he will say to me, Mommy, don't do that. That hurts my soul. He will literally say that to me. And so I've never had to yell at him. It's like, oh, don't do that. I can hear him in the other room sometimes. I remember last week he dropped a cup of water, like a plastic cup of water. And I don't yell over spilt water. And I could hear him in the other room going, I'm sorry. And nobody was yelling at him. No one said anything. And so we walked over like, hey, Felix, are you okay? Is everything okay? He's like, I'm so sorry. I'll clean it up. I'm so sorry. That's how sensitive he is, that he is judging himself for making a mistake. So I just come over and I say, I love you. It's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. And I could see his little, lip quivering. And there's things that's happened at school, and he doesn't talk a lot in school, so the teachers are now concerned about his speaking and all of that stuff. And I'm okay with it because I'm like, this is just who he is in the world. So I want to crack you open to possibility for your children, because I think as parents, we project a lot of our own stories onto our children, who they need to become, how they need to act. And I've seen massive, massive changes in my clients who come to me with, a behavior. We'll say, my child is so angry, he acts out, he does this or she does that. Why? And I'm like, well, let's take the behavior and let's look at it like a symptom. Or they'll say to themselves, like, I'm burnt out. Why? And we take those behaviors, the symptoms, we change up the system, change up how we do things. And ironically, a lot of the symptoms go away. And they're like, I don't know how that happened. All I did was adjust my schedule. All I did was shift a few things in my business. All I did was shift how we were doing things at home. Or when this improved, that went away. And I'm like, it's not magic, but it feels like magic because a lot of people aren't taught this way. So I want to leave you with this today. Just stand back with a lens today. And I want to know if this hit home for you. Please let me know. Don't leave me hanging was this helpful for you? I want you to send an email to support@heatherchauvin.com. tonight around dinner or whenever you're listening to this, I want you to look back and look at your family, look at yourself. Maybe if if you like to journal, and think about your child. Are they introverted? Are they affected by other people's energies? Do you think the reason why they act out so much is because they're overstimulated? Do you think the reason why, you take an iPad from a small child's brain, they lash out and they have a tantrum? Do you think it's because you just took away their vice, you took away their drug, and they don't know how to cope, they don't know how to manage that other energy, right? And then when you react, and that's a vicious cycle. Do you think your child doesn't like going to school because they feel shamed by their teacher because they can't focus and concentrate in a bigger classroom? Do you think your child wants to feel calmer, but they don't know the tools and the strategies? And how do you show up in the world? Are you an introvert acting as an extrovert in the world? Have you honored yourself? Have you given yourself permission to have a lot of downtime? So I got the kids off to school. I did a little work, but I was working from my bed for 2 or 3 hours this morning. And I'm going to be radically honest with you. I'm podcasting this in my pajamas, no bra on, haven't washed my face yet or brushed my teeth. The reason why I'm telling you that is because I had to create a life and a business and parenting and relationships and a lifestyle in alignment with how I wanted to feel, because it was killing me. And I'm not saying you're going to get cancer like I did. I actually was shifting into this lifestyle before I got sick. But for years and years and years, I knew that working in a day job, in a corporate day job, or even shift work or anything like that, where I was stuck inside all day and I was stuck under these like fluorescent lights with negative people, wasn't serving me, because my body was like, no, Heather, not this, not this. And the beauty of this was last night I didn't feel alone. I was listening to other amazing entrepreneurs who have been innovators. And I've noticed that a lot of people have to be innovators because they had no other choice, because sometimes they lost their jobs because they're like, not this, right? People be like, oh, she's an artist. Oh, she's this. It's like, no, they just haven't found their niche. They haven't found, where they are in the world. And it's beautiful to see how somebody's like, I have a love for interior design and making people happy. And so she became the manager of a local boutique where the people had the idea, but they didn't have the creativity to take the business off the ground. And so I believe we all have a purpose here. And I believe our children have big purposes too. And it's a journey of self-discovery. And I'm committed 110% to help you help your children and help you help yourself. Because the more in alignment you are in your life, you can help your kids do the same, and you can learn a lot about them, and you will be able to repair your relationships. You will be able to break generational patterns in your parenting. So with that, I'm going to challenge you that if teach your kid to meditate is something that you're interested in, and I don't just mean literally teaching your kid to meditate, I mean teaching your child the tools to succeed in this life, to learn how to manage and cope with their energy, then I highly suggest that you join us for the live round this summer. It's going to be in July. And if you register before June 15th, 2018, you will get like $270 off. So it's going to be like 50% off. The reason why this is happening, and I'm just going to reiterate this again, is because I'm doing it live. We have to change platforms and the way that we're doing things in the restructuring of the currency and stuff like that. So right now it is $297 Canadian. It will be going up to $497 US. And even at the price point of $497, the value that you're going to be gaining from this is tremendous. So head on over to teachyourkidtomeditate.com/program. teachyourkidtomeditate.com/program. If you sign up ASAP, so you're literally stopping this podcast, you're going to the website, there's a buy now button. You go through the registration process. You will get immediate access to the current program. So it's a DIY, do-it-yourself program, step by step by step. So you can actually get a jump start on this and more content and understand that because you're in before June 15th, you actually qualify for the live round. So you're automatically grandfathered in to the live round in July. So you'll be sent all the information. And like I said, the live round, I'm going to be adding the aligned workshop. So it's helping you as the adult get super crystal clear on the life that you want. It's going to help you. I'm also going to add the energetic time management workshop. So helping you align your energy with your calendar. I use it every single day. I use it with my mastery students. This has been a game-changing module for them. So those modules in itself. So the value is like off the charts. It's over $1,000 of content and space and everything that I'm going to be giving you. If you have any personal questions before registering, send it to us. support@heatherchauvin.com. So my last name is spelled CHAUVIN.com, and I'll be quiet now. So I just want to leave you with that thought of, are you an introvert? Is your child an introvert? And do you think that their behaviors can be a symptom to the deeper rooted problem, which is them not feeling in control of how to manage their energy? And that's exactly what I'm going to be teaching you this summer. So thank you so much, guys, for listening, and we'll chat soon.